Hey everyone, it's Dr. Danielle Clark. Welcome to the Win-Win Women Network. Today we are here to talk about all things friendship. How do you make friends? How do you up-level your friendships? And how do you let go of those friendships that are no longer serving you? This episode is inspired by an influx of clients coming to me over the last few months wanting to lean into their friendship. Spirit gave me a nudge and they said, yes, please do an episode on this. The world needs our wisdom. And so I am here as a medium giving wisdom from spirit and, of course, myself. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We're here every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. I am a business professor, psychic medium, intuitive life coach, dog mama, cat mama, human mama, wife, and so much more. If you are catching the replay, that's okay. It's the same good information and the same good energy. If you're here live, hang out with me. After the show, I'm going to be available for free readings. So you definitely want to make sure you're there for that. We'll start out just recognizing perhaps what brought you here, right? Collectively, we're lonely. And I think that's really important for you to hear. I know my clients coming to me the last few months, they feel like it's a them problem, right? I'm lonely. I'm not sure why I'm feeling this way. And I want to expand that. Like, we as a society are lonely. Technology has some to do with it, right? We tend to be a little bit more isolated from people. Maybe you're working from home. Maybe you just escape into technology. I know that's happened a lot too, where many people have just drawn inward, and not the good kind of inward, not like the introspective inward, but I'm going to go into an internal cave within myself, because the world is really scary right now. There's a lot of sad things. There's a lot of confusing things. There's a lot of traumatic things. There's a lot of unacceptable things happening, baffling things happening, flat out scary things happening. And so what a lot of us have done is gone into a cocoon, kind of sheltered a little bit from the world. And while, technology has its pros and cons, and sometimes, hunkering down a little bit has some pros and cons. Those two examples, when we're talking about friendships, they keep us a bit separated at times. It's my belief from a spiritual perspective that there's something very sacred about the energy exchange of being with someone face to face. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't create beautiful energy while we're on Zoom or phone or a different platform. I do it all the time via the show. I'm always sending my listeners an extra boost of Reiki energy, love, right? Energy and love can be transmitted through anywhere, time, space, and beyond. But again, there is something special about being face to face, especially since it's not happening as much anymore. A lot of us aren't going to the grocery store. We're having our groceries delivered. Let's make sure you're not alone. And the world is craving meaningful friendships. And I think that's very exciting, right? Because finding a new friend or, changing a friendship can be intimidating, but no, you're not alone. There's many people out there that want the exact same thing as you. And so hopefully that gives you a little energetic boost and some motivation to go out there and make your friendship goals happen. So, when I think of friendship and I ask spirit about friendship means something different to everyone. And it's so important to define what that means to you, what it should feel like, what the cadence is, how often you would meet or talk, what are the preferred communication styles. I say before you kind of get out there trying to make some new friends, really identify what you're looking for. Very similar to how you might approach if you're looking for a romantic partner, right? What are some deal breakers? Maybe you're a recovering alcoholic. Your deal breaker is there can't be a friend that drinks, right? Some of those are obvious and they stick out. Some might be more subtle, right? To you, what you're looking for now, a friend might be someone that you can do the mundane tasks with, go to the grocery store with someone on a Sunday, right? Or hit a book author event, right? So they maybe, they do need to be local, right? So just start dreaming a little bit about your ideal friend. It doesn't mean we're putting them in boxes, by the way, right? I mean, there's a difference between tapping into some characteristics and energies that you want and then saying, here's the criteria that they have to meet, right? In the judgy, closey way. We're not doing that. Because if you're familiar with the law of attraction or manifesting, it really is important that we energetically start to believe that something's coming our way. And it's also important that we become that thing. So you might have this friendship list, and it's then important that you kind of lean in and say, am I this, right? Or am I similar or able to offer a similar energy, right? It's quick for us to say, I want someone who's available a lot of weekends so we can do pickleball and so we can do karaoke nights. Once you have that list, get honest with yourself. Do you have that time? Do you have that energy? Just to make sure that you can energetically match. And if there are any barriers, right, it might be a good uncovering for you to be like, oh, okay, before I can attract someone like this in my life, I might need to make some shifts, right? As it relates to making new friends, we covered that people want to make new friends. Just know that you might need to be a little bit more forward than feels comfortable. We're very busy today. And actually, before I go to that thought, let me hit on that too. You need to make space for friendships. You need to make time for them. So as you're thinking like, oh, I don't have a lot of friends, or, geesh, I just haven't been able to make friends work, has a limited amount of time been a barrier? What can you start getting off your plate now? Things that you can delegate, things that aren't giving you joy, right? Time is important in any kind of a relationship. So I really want you to think about that. And going back to the concept of being forward, we're all busy. Studies have shown we have the attention span of a goldfish these days. You might not have the ability to be subtle, right? If you meet someone who you feel could be a nice match, a nice friend, tell them that. If you meet someone at a yoga class and you like their vibe, you're going to have to be bold. You're going to have to be like, hey, Leslie, I like your vibe. Would you want to have coffee sometime? Right? It's always a no if we don't try. And I know we're afraid of rejection. And that's another thing that I just want to hit on. Rejection is redirection. Let me say that again. Rejection is redirection. If someone doesn't want to go to coffee with you, that's okay. That's more than okay. That's a sign that the two of you weren't meant to be. It doesn't mean you stop looking for new friends. It doesn't mean you stop putting yourself out there. Be grateful that you found out so soon that it just wasn't meant to be. So yeah, you're going to have to get there, right? And then after the coffee, if the vibe's good, I think it's perfectly acceptable to kind of say like, hey, here's my life, here's my schedule, here's my stuff. Here's kind of what I'm looking for. Does this interest you, right? I'm looking for a yoga buddy. Would you want to start a regular rhythm with me? Or I'm looking to someone to vent to and share funny memes with throughout the week. Can I hit you up? Can I start texting you? We just need to ask for what we want, We just need to ask for what we want. That's how you're going to make the friends, that you want. And going back to that yoga class example, be where your people are. Be where your people are. If your week is filled doing things that aren't your true you, right? You're getting pulled along to the networking event here, and then the drinking event here, and then the networking event over here, right? Like, if those aren't your people, then you're not going to meet the people that you need to turn into friends. So really take stock into where are you allowing your time and energy. And nowadays, best places to meet people, especially if you're not looking to be online, is community events, right? Fundraisers. You have a lot of heart-centered, open people who are running 5Ks, who are running the tables, who are raising money for the nonprofits. So think about whatever charity, volunteer, community service work calls to you. Not only will you get a big dose of love, but there's a really good chance that you're going to find your people, right? And right, like align yourself, right? If you like yoga, but maybe it's been a little bit since you've been to yoga class, start going again. Create a rhythm, create that energy. Rhythm's really important too. It's my belief universe is always sending us signs and synchronicities, and they're always trying to send us the perfect people, places, things, opportunities. But if we're not consistent, it's harder for spirit to send us what we need. So start a rhythm, start going to guitar lessons every Wednesday, salsa dancing classes every Monday. Build some consistency and be patient with that. Now, oftentimes we have friends that, well, a lot of things could happen. We still adore them, but they're not necessarily stimulating us the way we need, or maybe something shifted between us or them where it's just not feeling the same. Maybe it feels like it's dragging us down. Maybe all of a sudden, because of the divorce 2 years ago, they kind of turned into that victim mentality, and they aren't placing as much focus on spiritual growth and physical health, and it's just weighing on you. Other times there might not be a specific reason. You just have a friendship and you're like, it's not really doing it for me. Those are tricky, right? They're tricky because we love our friends and we love familiarity, even if it's mediocre. It's so interesting, us humans. Gosh, if something can just be okay, not that great, but we do it over and over and over again because that's all we know, right? How many times have we gone to a restaurant that wasn't that great, right? The service isn't that great, the food's not that great, but we go because it's like, well, I've been going for 10 years. Well, I've been going for 20 years. And I want to encourage you to rethink that a little bit, right? Life goes pretty fast. I feel like, especially post-pandemic, like boom, 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 life is fast and furious. And so it almost becomes that we need to value our time. We need to remember that honoring ourselves is all about ensuring that we have the best experience, that we have an enlightened experience, that we have fun and laughter and unexpecteds and new perspective and growth. And a friend's not a one size fits all, right? But it shouldn't be mediocre all the time. Sometimes our friends, right, are going through rough patches. Sometimes they're going through really rough patches. Sometimes it might just be that casual friend who it just feels good to shoot the shit with and have a few drinks and have a few laughs, right? There's all sorts of tiers and categories and expectations. But I'm going to challenge you, if you have that friend or that friend group or those multiple friends, and it's popped up in your mind more than once of like, I don't know that I want to hang out with Lisa anymore, or, oh, this just feels like another wasted night. Why are you choosing to stay? And why are you choosing that mediocre comfort, that restaurant, right? When you could try something new, right? Maybe, again, we'll use that food analogy, right? Maybe you decide to stay home that night instead and use that 2 hours to make something really yummy, right? Like make some soul food for yourself, learn how to make something new, save some money, right? Just as an example, the potential is endless. That restaurant example, what if you decided to try a new restaurant? What would you experience? The new flavors, the new people. So yeah, now that doesn't always mean our existing friends need to go. It's not all about, okay, you're not cutting it, bye-bye. But it is making that decision. And again, similar in romantic relationships, sometimes we need to have the hard conversations. And we're not taught that. So that's why I'm here today talking to you. You know, throughout our years, we tend to get some advice on relationships, but not necessarily friendships. And they're similar, right? You should feel very comfortable saying, hey, Ken, I want to talk to you. The last few months, I've just felt a little irked. I feel like I text you, you're not texting me back. I feel like every time I suggest to do something, you don't like it, but when you suggest something, we end up doing it. Like whatever that situation is, right? You have to have the conversation. Sometimes the friend might not realize what they're doing or not doing. Or sometimes a friend might not realize that they've changed or you've changed. And sometimes you have to spell it out. Again, we're busy, and not the good busy, right? Like we're overwhelmed. I think that's a better word than busy. We are overwhelmed. We are overstimulated. We are overwhelmed. And so your friend who might have good intentions, they might not fully understand what they've done to themselves, that they're going down a dark road, or that they're spiraling, or that they're not giving you enough attention or love, right? Or maybe you've changed, right? Maybe the friendship started off with the two of you love shopping the night away. And it's a couple years later and you have different financial goals. Like you're no longer that, let's go to the mall and shop on Fridays, right? Like you're still the same lovable person you are, but shopping is not your goal anymore, right? Like you much rather stay at home and watch a movie, or go to the river walk, or go to the zoo, something you're not spending as much money on, right? It's important for you to say that, like, hey, I don't know if you noticed or not, but here's a goal of mine. I'm trying to get all my student loan debt paid off, or my car loan paid off, or I'm trying to save up money for down payment on a house. And I don't want to do a shopping thing anymore. Can we reconsider? Can we reimagine our Fridays? Got to give them the opportunity to decide, like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Or like, oh, no, sorry, not my thing, right? So think about that with existing friendships. Oftentimes too, a joint shared mission is really important. So you can also see for those friendships that are feeling a little stale, see if you can create a shared goal together. Like, hey, I'm working on financial health. Like I'd love an accountability buddy. I'd love someone to journey with, and we can help each other cut coupons, and we can help each other, not spend, and we can help each other meal prep. Like, is that interesting to you, right? So it all comes down, exercise your beautiful throat chakra and just speak your truth, and be ready to change if it's not serving you. Maybe your Friday night bestie turns into your I see you twice a year friend, right? Or vice versa. Maybe you find, in this, after this episode, your goal of up leveling a friendship, maybe your we talk every few months turns into we talk every day, right? Just be open to change. Be more vulnerable with your friends too. oftentimes, without us realizing, our friendships can become stale and closed off, right? Where we're not vulnerable, we're not sharing our mental health problems, we're not sharing our fears, we're not sharing our relationship issues, right? And I'd also encourage you, while you're here, think about that, right? If your relationships are feeling fake or surface level, how can you get vulnerable? How can you go deeper with your friend so they know you, right? And so you have a chance to fully know them. How can you get more curious about them? Because we take people for granted, especially our friends that we've been friends with for forever. I know everything about Julie. You don't, because Julie changes every day. She's hearing something new. She's learning something new. She's growing. She's falling, she's laughing, she's crying. So get curious about your friends, and that really, really helps to make a nice, vulnerable, authentic, connected friendship as well. And again, I gotta keep, just given the tough love, we need to get to a point, whether it's our friendships or anything in life, right? If we've tried this way and we've tried this way and we've tried this way and things just aren't feeling great, I know it's heartbreaking to say goodbye to anything, right? Our favorite restaurant, or our favorite restaurant that once was, that went downhill, but yet we still go, right? But the reality is, it's, Glennon Doyle, pick your heart. Staying in a toxic friendship or a meh friendship or a boring friendship is hard. And breaking up with a friend is hard, but choose your heart, right? And the breaking up with the friendship opens up a lot more possibility for you to explore. So friendship, so important. And let's talk a little bit about online before we go. I would say intuitively lean into this one, right? I've heard some fantastic success stories about meeting friends online, genuine friends, whether it's community boards, whether it's chats. There's also some apps that will specialize in connecting you with friends. You need to do your research, right? Some of those sites are not going to attract the people that you might be looking for. Some of the people that are looking to be friends want a little bit more. So do your research, but I wouldn't discount it, but have a healthy exploration. And again, like anything, know when something's not working, know when the vibe's not okay, and know yourself. If it's going to add too much stress or self-judgment, or you going down these online rabbit holes, right? Don't do it. But I will say I've had many clients, have success, during the online exploration too. Don't forget just to keep yourself healthy, mind, body, and soul. The best way to get what we want in life, whether it's better feeling friendships, whether it's any kind of abundance, it's just keeping ourselves strong. Oftentimes spirit might not bring us a certain person, a certain energy, because we're not ready for it yet. We need to do our lessons. So kind of spinning back to the front of this episode, take some time, right? Where can I get stronger? Where can I get myself, so that way when I am in a friendship, I can offer just as much as I get. I hope this gave you a hit of feeling connected, inspiration. Like most of my episodes, I hope you're leaving with a beautiful to-do list, and just take this at your own pace. You just even showing up here today, watching this video, has created energy towards your friendships. Anytime we spend time and open our heart to something, it's already starting the wheels in progress. So you are on your way. Send me an email. I'd love to hear your friendship story. I'm at drdanielleclark@gmail.com. So it's DRDANIELLE Clark, CLARK @gmail.com. I'm curious, like, what are you going through in your friendships? Send me a note if you want any advice or anything I can do to help. And then definitely send me a note if you were able to apply any of the energy, perspective, advice that I gave in this episode, and maybe what happened next. I'd love to hear how this helps your journey. All right, my friends, I am signing off. I want you to remember it is the cracks in your heart that let the light shine through. And so it is.